And she might be able to help with it, I don't know. Well, you know, just think we've all worked on it. We had our used book sale about a year ago. Real nice, and I'm going to go see if it has anything like that in that. It's not just like
And here is the bed Mary Draper Ingalls was supposed to be born in 1730 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Her parents had come from Ulster, Northern Ireland, and were Scots-Irish.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know if you're getting a phone call. Someone's there starting
Oh.
to get a phone call. The history around here, Mary Catherine lived in the Cloyd house, and it was built in the 1700s. The Indians lived right down at the creek at the bottom of her land there. She found arrowheads. They lived there first. And then they had the Civil War. She said, see where that young man is baling the hay there? That's where they had the war going on. Isn't that amazing?
And she found out those arrowheads over there?
No, they're not her. She showed me the one she's got in her house. Got a beautiful rock and red wood house. These came, somebody said they're probably about the oldest things we have around here. Somebody donated this. I heard that if you find any, now we had a whole box. Daddy would take us to Tar River where the Indians camped out when I was little, he would take us over there. And this man's cornfield, every time he plowed, every spring, we'd go get all kind of stuff. Wonderful. But my sister's a teacher. She said, Judy, when Mama had to move, I was cleaning out the garage. She said, Judy, did you find our arrowheads? I said, no, Gary, I think Mama must have given them away or threw them away. That's the way Mama just didn't care. I saved everything. I just loved everything.
Yeah.
But Mama's not, she has to have everything in place. That's the way her place is now.
Doesn't want to hold on to history?
Now, and like her people, I try to ask her about my people in Australia. Mama doesn't know. Okay, this is a little town of Newbern, and Adam Hance is our founding father, and he wanted a little village here. He had over 1,400 acres. We had Christiansburg down the road. We had Withville. You've probably seen that as you travel down 81. Right. And there was nothing in here, so in 1810 he got permission to have this little village of Newbern, and they called it Newbern because of the German-speaking Swiss people from Bern, Switzerland. And he had 28 lots on this road here. There's a controversy going on now. It's supposed to be the Wilderness Road from Pennsylvania on out to Kentucky and Tennessee over the Cumberland to Gap. But one lady has written a book. She says this is not the Wilderness Road. This is called the Great Road that leads to the Wilderness Road, which is in Scott and Lee County and goes over the Cumberland Gap. But we'll have to wait and find out. I'm trying to find the facts and the truth about things. But we'll call it the Wilderness Road or Great Road. He had 28 lots divided up. He had 7 on that side of the road, 7 on that side, 7 on this side, and 7 here. And then he had cross road that went all the way down about 2 miles to the Clayton Lake or New River. And his son Henry bought lot number 2, which is this one right here where you're standing. This is probably the oldest one that we could stand in 1810 here. And back then they had regulations. All the lots had to be so long, so wide. The houses had to be so long, so wide. 1.5 stories with 1 door, 2 windows with at least 12 panes, and these all have 15 panes. They had to have a brick or stone chimney, and had to have log and shingle roof. And when Henry bought this one, he wanted to enlarge his. So he put this arch here, and we call this the arch room. So you know why we call it the arch room. And he moved his fireplace back, and he had a post office in here. He had a tavern. And then later on, he added this large room here. It had a wall there. He had to go out as far as I know on the side porch, come in the side door there, and that was a general store. And his father, the founding father, Adam Hance, built lot number, I don't know what it would be, but he built the one on the end of this building here. And in 1851, they joined and put the dog trot in. And this became a 99 or 100-foot building. And over here, we had the courthouse built. We have a picture right here. You might want to look at that, Sarah. This big old, right here, big old picture of the courthouse. That was built catty-corner to us, and it was built, I say, you transpose, it says it was built in 1839, and on the night of November 27, 1893, it burned. And Pulaski wanted to be the county seat, wanted to build the courthouse. Dublin, a few miles down the road, wanted to build and be the county seat. And of course, Newbern wanted to rebuild. There was a fight going on, and they say Pulaski got to be the county seat and build the courthouse because of politics and the railroad. And that's, I guess it works out nowadays too, like that. But anyway, we have 5 historical societies housed in this building. This became a museum in 1970, 29 years ago in April. We just observed our 29th anniversary. And we have Montgomery County. 1970. Okay. 70, so that'd be 29. 30. Excuse me, 80, excuse me. Thank you for correcting me. I'll say that every once in a while. 1980, 29 years ago. You're right, 1980. And up in the 1970s, we had some Alexanders that lived in here, and the leaves are kind of covering their place there, but I can see the house a little bit. There's a house down there where Kenneth Alexander lived until they moved out in the late 1970s. And he's built a house over and has the cattle around it. And this became the Hance Alexander house because Jabin Alexander, the gentleman that we have the picture of in there, the large picture, he married Henry Hance's daughter Virginia, so this became the Hance Alexander house back when they were living in here. And the next room beside the reception room is Giles. That's the Giles County room. And then the Floyd, upstairs the Pulaski County and the city of Rapid. So y'all can go through, and we have 4 houses outside, 4 cabins. We have the buggy shed, we have the stagecoach building, the slave loom house or cabin, and the slave kitchen. And we can take and show you that.
Are they open? Or
Yes, ma'am. I'll have to open with my key, but I'll be glad to take y'all.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, ask my director. I'll call her Rapid. She's been here 29 years. Okay, thank you. So y'all just make yourself at home and look around.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are back again. Oh, you're right, church pews. Yeah, okay.
I just washed this wall right here. That's what I was doing when Sarah came in. And she's been there for a while. All this, I didn't do the whole thing. But the museum, it owns about 5 or 6 acres, all that down there. And the fire chief comes and he mows it down and puts some big old round bales in it, so he gets that down. I have to tear that thing off, I believe. This is a stagecoach building, and Jimmy's supposed to mow it tomorrow. Got the gas to mow this. But this was used to feed people as they parked around their stagecoaches and their wagons. And tradition says that the slaves would cook in the slave kitchen and bring the food down on a wooden platform and had a grape arbor, and they feed them in here. And this house was built in the early teens of the 1800s, right here in this really last. one gentleman from Floyd, he lives up near Richmond now. I said, would y'all like to come? They were getting ready to go. I said, would y'all like to come and look in the Stagecoach building? He said, there's nothing in there. He said, I said, sir, it's just like a museum in there, you know. It's just all these things have been collected, I guess at the beginning, especially 29 years ago. And this nice. Welcome.
Antiques.
Yes, and you tell these are the original floors because see how wide they are, and over there they're even wider. And then after they used this as to feed, you know, people came park around. They had people visiting, people off the road here, and then they had people came for health reasons and ate here when they came up to this area of the country. And then they used it as a granary. When they quit doing that, they stored grain in here. And when I first came, I thought, what is that hole drilled in that board for? See how wide the boards are? Well, there was a colored slave, they said, in the 1860s. I read this in a poem somebody made. And he would bring his gunny sack. See, this gets taller as it goes up. You can stand under here. And he would bring his gunny sack, and he would get corn, fill it up, go home, and they would eat. And then when they gave out, he'd come back and get some more for his poor family. He finally got caught, and it says they tried him, and he was hung at the gallows. They hung him on the gallows for stealing corn. And Mr. Alexander, he was nice to his, you know, the slaves, but he said, if you had told me, I would have given you corn and to plant and to make cornmeal, but you stole it. And he tried to get him out of being hung, but they hung him. That's what the poem said. But all these things are so nice. And this right here, I mean, I let the ladies and little children pick this wash machine, agitator. Yeah, and I've seen another one, really pretty. It's really heavy though. And one little boy, I had a group of students. They're short and we're tall, but he looked in there and he said, well, you sure can't wash clothes in it now, it won't hold the water. I said, how come? And he said, see that? I've never seen that slat back there. See right there? It fell out in there. He said, the water would run out. They see things different from us. And the lathe right here, this old lathe, you put a belt on it. It goes right here to this. And you know, my son made a lathe, our son did, when he's about in 4th, 5th grade, little lathe cut out. Yeah, I told you, yeah, he had it from the barn. I wrote from the barn out to the elm tree, and somehow he had it fixed so he could cut little, you know, shape the wood on it.
Oh, there's a lot of interesting things there.
It really, really is.
Real rustic looking. And that's the granary, and we just had that restored, I guess, about a little over a year ago.
Doesn't this feel better? Children like it. But they had an archaeological dig right in here, they said, before they rebuilt it. And it was a slave hiding pit. And these things we see in these two showcases, the one up in the arch room they took out, that's the slaves hid the things they didn't want stolen, you know, or lost. They put them in there.